Ambushed Part 3. And yes, I recognize that calling this series Ambush seems so dramatic, but it was dramatic. It just boggles my mind that we're having to go to such lengths just to defend ourselves and go through this process that the national bylaws outlines for us. But I just kind of wanted to maybe lighten it a little bit, bring a little bit of levity, and acknowledge that it is dramatic to call this series Ambushed, but it is appropriate. So in this video, there's a couple of things that we can knock out that were not so serious. So I want to kind of get those out of the way first, and sort of easy to touch on and understand. But one of the things that she brought up is that even though we have met the requisite number of chapter endorsements, which is 9 in 5 different states, so a total of 10 chapters, meaning you've got your proposing chapter and then you've got 9 endorsing chapters, that even though we've met that requirement, it can represent, less than 1% of the total membership, which is roughly 190,000 members. And so this is an obvious deflection. It's an attempt to move the goalpost, because the bylaws don't state that you have to have a requisite number of member representation. You have to have a requisite number of chapter representation. And so we're just following the rules. So in order for what they're claiming to have any kind of merit, we would have to have, and I've made a post about this, you can go look at it, but you would have to have somewhere in the neighborhood of, just to represent 1% of the membership, each chapter that endorses would have to have at least 200 members or 190 members to equal about 1,900. That's just for 1%. And then so on. If it's 5%, I believe it was like a 950 chapter members. You can go look at that math. I don't remember. Go look at it. But my point is that it is an unattainable, astronomical number of chapters you would have to have in order to represent what they're calling a significant number of the membership. So again, that to me, that is just an obvious deflection, and that's not what the bylaws say anyway. It doesn't. The substance of the proposal should not be necessarily based on member representation. That's not what the bylaws say. It should be on the substance of the language of the proposal. So to me, that's just a deflection. And moreover, one thing that we've been admonished for over and over and over is you cannot use your member directories. You cannot talk about this on the DOC. You can't talk about it on our Facebook pages. So how in the world are we supposed to get that many chapter endorsements when everything is shut down? I maintain that our member directories are absolutely within the bounds to use for this. We haven't used those, but we probably will, because this is official DAR business. But one of the things, I'll wrap up with this, is that the state regent accused members and us of sharing our member directories outside of the DAR, which is not true. There have been some members, I think, that have shared their directories with other members, but it's for this purpose. And she said that it was for political solicitation, which is not true. It is to seek chapter endorsements, official DAR business. So that's another thing about this, and we can talk about the political side. This is a political topic. We'll cover that one in a different video. So that wraps up this one. More to come. Stay tuned.